Nick has proof. Evidence withheld in courts now revealed.
Nicholas Godjon filed an habeas corpus back in March of 2025.
The habeas corpus allows a federal judge to examine Nicholas' case further and see if Nicholas was unlawfully detained in prison. Did you hear what I said? A federal judge. Not another Missouri judge. No jury that watched the movie The Act. No defense counsel that's up for re-election. Just a federal judge who will look over all the evidence that Nicholas provided.
Let's take a close look at all Nicholas Godjon gave to the judge to review in his case.
1.
Brady violations. Suppressed exculpatory evidence. Godjon's team argues prosecutor Dan Patterson withheld highly favorable evidence, in violation of Brady v. Maryland. 2,346 Facebook messages from Gypsy to Nick, revealing her active role in planning, instructing, and emotionally manipulating him, including statements like "if you do this, I'll be yours forever." Yahoo Messenger chats raising similar manipulative content. A Canon camera video capturing Gypsy walking through the crime scene and acting out the stabbing. Post-murder web searches, how to get away with murder, cleaning blood, made by Gypsy.
All of this, the petition argues, was material to Nick's defense but was never shown at trial.
2. Ineffective assistance of counsel, undermined defense. Nicholas asserts that his trial counsel, Andrew Meade, fell below constitutional standards, Strickland v.
Washington, by
failing to introduce the Canon video, which clearly undermined Gypsy's helpless victim narrative and would have supported a diminished capacity or coerced role defense.
Not cross-examining Gypsy about her mental health and motivations.
Overlooking Nick's autism and mental health issues, which affected his ability to form intent and increased his vulnerability to manipulation.
3.
Due process violations. Prejudicial trial narrative. The petition emphasizes that the jury was misled by an incomplete factual record. The court allowed a one-sided narrative painting Nick as the primary instigator while evidence pointed to Gypsy's orchestration. Crucial digital records and video were excluded, depriving the defense of the full context and skewing the jury's perception. This, he argues, violated his right to a fair trial under the U.S. Constitution. 4. Actual innocence, miscarriage of justice. Nick's petition frames the new evidence, especially the manipulated messages and reenactment video, as proof that
he was not the mastermind.
He was a manipulated actor, and the balance of evidence supports a retrial. Before Nick's trial, the jury had seen the documentaries Mommy Dead and Dearest and Gypsy's Revenge, which painted the picture of Nick being the main murderer, while Gypsy had little to do with it and was a victim of all her mom's alleged abuse.
More evidence withheld from court.
Over 150 pornographic, fetish videos created by Gypsy. Gypsy made over 150 explicit videos, many under her Ruby persona.
Some of the videos included sexual content with violent themes, threats to harm other women if they went after Nick, Gypsy talking about being good at planning things and stealing.
These videos revealed her manipulative tendencies, violent ideation, and multiple personalities, which directly counter the helpless victim narrative.
Why this mattered?
This content could have established Gypsy's psychological control over Nick, and that she wasn't coerced, but rather a dominant participant.
This makes us question who it was Nicholas was watching on his computer at McDonald's.
Was it Gypsy? Did she talk Nick into going to the McDonald's to watch her there and her intent was to get him arrested? Prosecutor Dan Patterson selectively chose which evidence to present, building the narrative that Nick was the dangerous killer and Gypsy the victim. Defense attorney Andrew Meade either failed or chose not to challenge this by submitting counter-evidence. This led to a manipulated, lopsided trial where the jury was shielded from the most exculpatory evidence.
Now that the suppressed evidence is being brought before the federal judge, we have some more questions.
Could Nick's habeas corpus make it possible for the federal courts to reopen and reinvestigate Gypsy's role in the whole crime? Yes, absolutely. If Nicholas Godjohn's federal habeas corpus petition succeeds and his conviction is overturned due to prosecutorial misconduct or withheld evidence, it could open the door for the federal system to re-examine Gypsy Rose Blanchard's full role in the crime. This is very good news when you consider all of Gypsy Blanchard's federal violations, including, but not limited to,
interstate communication, tampering with evidence, financial fraud, perjury, attempted murder, theft,
and of course, murder for hire. Just because Gypsy Blanchard was finally taken off parole on June 25, doesn't mean she won't ever face the circumstances of all her actions back in 2015 and leading up to the crime.
So tell me what you think in the comments. Will Nick finally get justice as the federal judge looks over all the suppressed evidence that could go in his favor?
Will Gypsy finally have to face the federal judge herself for all of her involvement that wasn't brought up in court previously?
What do you think? Please like, share and subscribe. I appreciate you all.